Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Moonbase 2. My name is Andy, Decayed Andy, and I'm joined here by my Spanish man himself. It's Miguel O'Sullivan. Hello Miguel. The Bull Tamer.
I think you combined two different accents there.
It's fine.
And names.
What are accents?
I'm not getting into that with you. If you don't know, I know. Jesus.
Oh my God. Don't send me to the gulag, Miguel.
Russian. The Russian thing. Oh God. Never be in a history class.
You eat your Russian burritos, Miguel. Your Russian sushi burritos.
The story in me is literally dying.
Apart from dying, Mikey, how are you doing?
All right. Busy. Very, 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 very busy.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I'm good. How are you?
It seems to be getting to that time of year where I can't get the house to comfortable heat. It's either the central heating pumps the heat up too high, or I have the doors open to try and let in some heat from the central heating, and then the room gets incredibly cold very quickly. When that unhappy period. So apart from that, like normal stuff wise, fine, kicking about, kicking the can down the road, as they say. But we've got Transformers to talk about, Mikey. But when I say we've got Transformers to talk about, we don't actually have very much to talk about.
No.
And you can tell because I'm going to be kicking off the news with shoes, Mikey. We have 2 Transformers shoe stories.
Wow.
Everyone's running to get them.
No, they're not.
Aren't they?
No, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I am, constantly.
I mean relevant to the current actions you are taking.
Oh, no, not related to what I've done just now.
I'm just ashamed. In relation to anything?
Well, I'm sure there's a backlog. There's a backlog I can look at.
I'm sure there's something.
There's more than one thing. There's Transformers Adidas, or X Adidas, Optimus Prime, and Megatron running shoes. Everybody's favorite. They're currently going to be available for purchase in China. So if you want some running shoes, you can get them, obviously styled after Prime and Megatron. They're going to be the Adidas X9000L4. I don't know why there's a product number like that, but that's what they are.
Many heroes.
Do you want the style code, Mikey? The style code for the Optimus Prime one is the GX3112. Your favorite number combination with letters, I know.
Yeah, I'm just after noticing the symbols are wrong.
Don't worry about it. What is a Transformer but to change your opinion on things?
Well, Megatron's is red.
You're red.
Except it's regular Megatron, and Optimus's is blue?
Yeah, that's the color of the Autobot symbol.
And it's G1 Optimus, but look, flames in the back.
Yeah, because he's the G1 version.
Also, Megatron's shoe is black, not grey.
So what's the difference between black and grey, Mikey?
One's black, one's grey.
Yeah, there's no difference exactly.
Why do you want your shoes to glow in the dark?
Because you want people to see you when they're trying to hit you with their car, because they hate you because you've got Transformer shoes and they're jealous, that's why.
Or they think you're like the other side.
Oh my God, you're an Autobot driver, you see someone with Decepticon shoes and you're like, well, I gotta kill him now.
Yeah,
it's the way. The Optimus Prime one, it says for the product description, is colorway features blue and grey scheme. His famous colors, as Mikey said, with red accents and fire decals towards the heels. Megatron colorway, I don't know why it's called a colorway, but okay, is black with dark grey and red detailing, just like Mikey said, the famous color scheme. Both LED lighting with insoles.
Oh, I know why it's
feature
colorway. I know why it's colorway. This is fucking Google Translate back. It's supposed to be color scheme, but they've just translated it from Chinese or Mandarin.
That would make sense. Oh, good call. Yeah. Both will feature LED lighting insoles and will split Optimus Prime / Megatron's face. Oh, on the insoles. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, so the inside of the shoes will have
I hate
insoles. Yeah, with the Autobot and Decepticon faces in them. So when you slide your horrible cheesy toad feet into the shoes, you will be covering the leader and the leader of the Decepticons and the Autobots.
And
lovely.
And the not good art of them.
It's not the best. It looks like, I don't know. I'm sure we've seen this artwork before, but the artwork looks like it was a really small resolution that's been blown up to shoe size. It's not great. What do you think of the shoe style, Mikey? You, I know, are a big shoeman.
I wear shoes.
Yes.
I mean, it looks spacey, and I think it's kind of neat that they've actually got, partly formed Autobot and Decepticon symbols around the lights.
Yes.
I'll
give them this. It's not aggressively Transformers.
Yeah, I don't, want one. And I see.
Well, no, you definitely don't want one. You want a pair.
The first couple I see, these are kids' shoes, right? I don't see no respectable adult. I don't see no respectable adult wearing these. If these were to be sold in states, I defiantly will not see any adult buying these where in the public. No,
Mikey wasn't having a stroke there. He was reading a comment from the TFW forums.
Response: I'm 57 and I am getting these Megatron shoes.
I'm sure the person that said that was probably in their 20s. I'm too cool for these shoes. And the 57-year-old's no, I don't care anymore. I don't care. Fuck you. Give me the Transformer shoes.
They're my shoes.
My shoes. I mean, they are shoes. I wouldn't say they're super amazing, but I'm not a shoeman. I'm not an expert shoe person. If I had my friend Matt on, my local friend Matt, I'd ask him because he's more of a shoeman than me. He used to buy fancy shoes from America. He did sell them later on for a big profit because they were collector shoes.
Did he ever wear them?
No. If he did wear them, he'd wear them inside, and I think he only wore them.
Well,
once
naturally, the only thing to do with designer shoes is to wear them in your sitting room. You don't want anyone to see them.
To be in fairness, if you're American, that makes more sense because Americans wear shoes inside. So maybe you have really fancy, cool indoor house shoes like these expensive ones, and you go, okay, fair enough. But if you're British like us or European, I assume European. Generally speaking, you just go, your shoes are for outside, you get inside, you throw your shoes off and you throw them somewhere, and then you go, my feet can breathe. Usually. Wow. I mean, that's a different way to go. Maybe you're right, maybe you're not, I don't know.
I'm not wrong.
Well, I'm going to ask you, Mikey, how do the next shoes compare to these shoes? These are the Transformers X. Akedo. I knew I'd get there eventually. These are Transformers The Movie 1986 high-top trainers. I'm not sure the trainers.
They says high-top trainers, Andy.
It certainly does, but it doesn't look like you want to go running in these, and that's what I define a trainer as.
Top
right?
Trainer.
In my mind, my very limited shoe mind knowledge, or knowledge shoe mind thing, trainers are things that you use for sports. I would not use these for sports. I'd use these for walking inside. Maybe pottering about outside, but not really doing any pottering, but not doing anything crazy. Anyway, these, Mikey, are limited shoes. These are limited to 400 pairs. That means there are 800 shoes like this.
Right.
400 being for the left side of your foot, 400 being for the right side of your feet.
Right.
And you can get them if you want to from the Zavi website for...
I don't.
Basically £50. Oh, wow, the dollar's gone weird because it's basically $50.74.
What?
Yeah.
That I'm going to test. That cannot be right.
I didn't think that was right either when I was reading it. I was
hang on. 49.99. UK in US.
US.
67.21.
Yeah, I was thinking it seemed a little low for it to be a few cents more effectively if you did the conversion.
Did the dollar collapse? Or did the dollar expand and the pound collapse? Or what was going on?
Yeah, I was thinking something must have drastically changed. Either America got super powerful or the pound just exploded, which could happen. I don't keep up to date with the the Dowie and the I can't remember the other numbers and whatnot. Anyway, these are designed by the artist Flowray, some person, with art direction by Matt Ferguson. See, I can read Matt's name. He's got a normal name. Inspired by the title scene patterns from the Transformers movie sequence, when it gets all technical woo-woo and it's totally not similar to the Superman movie at that point. The inner Decepticon insignia and the outer Autobot insignia. Wow. Materials, upper, cotton canvas, and Mikey, the soles are made of gum rubber.
These look really cheap.
Well, yeah, they're like £50.
But no, they look cheap for something that's like, there's only 800 in the world.
No, 400 in the world. It's just for
No, there's 800 shoes in the world.
That's true. There are, yes. Yeah, that is
Matt,
right.
Sandy, there's 2 shoes. But these just look like something you'd get in, like, Lidl or, like, TK Maxx.
Yeah, but look at the box it comes in, Mikey.
That also looks like you'd get it in TK Maxx.
Everything you see is part of me, a kiddo.
Don't judge. What?
I'll read it again.
No, I heard it, but the only appropriate response to that is, what?
I don't know. These are for shoes as well. Is that like a threat? Is it like you open the box? Is it like Pandora's box? You open it, everything you see is part of me, and like your soul gets absorbed by the shoes, by the company? My God, wow.
Yeah.
I just buy a pair of shoes. It doesn't need to give me a fancy message. Times have changed.
I don't know, like, I feel like this is kind of writing a check or signing a check you ain't got money for.
This one feels a lot more aggressively slapping you in the face that these are Transformer shoes more so than anything else.
That's kind of why like these look so cheap, because these are just basically like, wow, €20 licensed shoes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I thought you just meant like the materials in general. Like, I definitely would agree that the in quotations, the build of the shoe looks real basic. It looks like the kind of shoes that like people on the internet who are really talented and like us get white shoes and like they would draw and make them really artistic and stuff and do really interesting patterns and drawings and stuff and then go, hey, it's my fancy shoe that I drew. It looks like this is that shoe, but with, like you say, the Transformers gubbins kind of plastered all over it, and you go, okay. I think the artists on Twitch and Twitter and whatnot are a lot better than you guys, personally. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I think the other shoes were better. I don't really want either of them, but... No,
I'm good. I am good.
If you want to class this as a crappy corner, you are well within your right to. But we had 2 specifically shoe-related ones, so I wanted to talk shoes first. Mikey, yes. I want you to tell me about X-Transbots and Combiners and whatnot.
Are you ready to be fisted, Andy?
All the time, Mikey.
Good. Because First Aid is here for you. X-Transbox MX31 Paragon, their version of an MP scale First Aid, has been revealed. So, cartoon accurate, comes with integrated fist. So all combiner parts are fully integrated into the Rubit.
Oh, that's what you mean. The combiner fist is inside him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we see it in vehicle mode. We see in robot mode. We see it in chair mode.
Where's the hand in robot mode? I can see it in the chair mode, but where's it in robot mode?
I'm assuming it's internalized into the booty.
Yeah, it must be.
In chair mode or medical bay mode, it's basically a mistransformed version of the arm mode, but with some extra sculpted detail to make it look a bit like a chair, and also a couple of arms
unfolded.
Makes me think more K-On than like medical.
Yes, I thought that as well. This does not look comfortable or safe.
No, this looks like it's a chair that wants you dead.
Yeah.
I think First Aid's robot mode looks pretty good, to be completely honest. Proportions look a little on the lanky side.
Do you think he's got a whiny face for an interchangeable one?
How do you have a whiny face with a faceplate?
Oh, easy. Just look at him. He looks whiny. I remember him in that one episode being whiny as well.
I don't remember First Aid in that episode. Is that the episode where he goes like, I'm done?
It's the pacifist one where he's like, no, I don't want to hurt people. And everyone's like, First Aid, stop being a bitch. This is a fucking war.
I feel like that's like a Beachcomber one that they like left over. But so yeah, I think the arm looks really solid. It looks like there's a really good set of joints and everything else there. And it's nice to see this whole like integrated combination thing is still hanging around. He's got some proportional issues for me. His torso seems too long, and I don't like it's like he's kind of going for super robot proportions, but it hasn't quite turned out because it's like resulted in him having like long, broad torso and tiny arms.
It's like they're storing an entire fist in his torso.
Yeah. Also, he seems too tall. Am I wrong about that? Was First Aid super tall?
I don't think so. Like I would
towers over Trax and what's his name, Streetwise.
Streetwise, yeah, I would have definitely put him at the same height as Streetwise and Trax. I wouldn't have said he's. I'd say maybe he's what does scale even mean to the fucking G1 animation? I suppose, right? But in my mind, like all of the combiner limbs should be the same, apart from the Hotspot, who should be taller because he's the leader. But that might be my bias of like the toys, because that's how the toys were.
Maybe I'm looking at the render they have for the Fensor, and like First Aid doesn't do nearly as much as, or First Aid does more than Streetwise. So maybe just like since Streetwise technically only is kind of a shin. Whereas First Aid is an entire arm.
Yeah, that's probably it. It's probably an issue with just, like you say, making an entire arm versus just making half of a leg.
And
which it makes sense. Yeah.
Huge bike. But then Groove never made sense.
Oh, poor Groove.
He doesn't make sense, Andy.
Why is Trax getting tortured, Mikey, in these images? Why is Prime holding his hand like he's just going to let this happen to him?
I suspect what they're going for is like, no, you poor dear, you're too poor, beautiful dear, we will keep you alive and save you. And what's coming across is like, no, you can't get off there, we need to remove your teeth, but you haven't given me any anesthetic. No.
Ironhide. No, but Pram, listen, Ironhide. Nobody likes Trax. He had that Julio boy go missing for years. We have to find out what happened to Julio. Crack his head open, First Aid.
I do love the idea that just like Ironhide basically communicates in but Prime.
Yeah, that's his only words. But Pram!
It's like Groot. Like,
why is no
Prime,
one,
Ironhide, there's no need to comment on the political destabilization of the USSR. We really don't need to talk about this. But Prime!
Why has no one done that as a joke for a series for Ironhide? I think that'd be quite fun. I'd like it.
Yeah,
they could have done that in the Legends comic. That would have totally worked for the Legends comic.
But it's probably not. The thing is, but Prime is such a big thing because it's a very, very, very Western Texan kind of yeehaw, Prime probably does not translate, to Japanese.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I don't even know what but Prime would be in Japanese.
With like watch that other accent. That
maybe they just kanji it up.
What's that other accent?
You mean Osakan?
Yeah. They probably just
because I think Osakan's meant to be like the Osaka accent's meant to be a bit more country, I guess. Hick.
Yeah, but like that would be the only one I could think of.
Yeah, like, you might be right.
Yeah, so just because also I don't know many Japanese accents.
No,
but
well, we're not Japanese and we haven't been there, so it's hard for us to distinguish accents in a language that we barely comprehend, apart from a few choice words from Kamen Rider. Let's be fair,
True. But yeah.
I mean, I don't love this. I think the Ocular Max versions generally, if I was going to go the way of a combiner, and Jesus knows there's enough of them out there, I think Ocular Max would probably be the place I would hedge my fences. Because I think, they're an offshoot of Mastermind, aren't they? Yeah, Mastermind.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think they're the offshoot of them. And I don't think I've ever had a problem with Ocular Max. And they've done the G2 repaint of Devastator. Of Menasor, so, Not Menasor, I'm stupid, Bruticus. There we go. I knew I'd get there. And they are doing Defensor at the moment anyway. So yeah, I think I'd go that way. This one doesn't look bad, though.
No, it's not bad. It's just not super interesting to me personally. Like,
I would agree.
It doesn't help that, like, all engineering and everything else aside, it's a Protectobot, and no one should care about the Protectobots.
They were more interesting than the aerial bots, but that's obviously not a huge bar to climb. But I would agree with you.
Here's the thing. I would say, like, were they? Because at least you could say, like, the aerial bots had unique
I'd
plots.
Say yes. I would say yes, because all the characters had a unique silhouette versus the aerial bots who all looked the same apart from Silverbolt.
True, but...
If we're talking about story-wise, I mean, if we're talking about cartoon, maybe the aerial bots got a little bit more, not huge amount.
The aerial bots got to go back and fuck with time, I suppose.
But that wasn't even really about them at that point. It was more so about the Orion Pax, and they would just happen to facilitate the story.
And also, like, they helped contribute to the horrible, destructive time loop that is the Constructicons making Megatron.
Or not.
Or not.
No one knows.
Yeah. Who birthed who? Neither. They apparently all existed beforehand. Did they? Maybe. Who knows?
No one knows.
I think on the TF Wiki they used to have some fun with that and just like, at some point the Constructicons made Megatron. Wait, they existed beforehand. No, wait, Megatron made them.
Didn't the Legends comics explain this?
Probably, but I think
do
you think anyone listens to the best Transformers continuity? No.
We do. We would more if it was translated and in a physical format.
Yes, yes, please.
One day. It won't happen, but one day.
Please.
Mikey.
We got the Headmaster's manga translated to English. I sometimes still try to get my head around that.
Yeah, but I didn't hear you say I tried to get my hands on it. Your head.
No, because I know that manga is supposed to be quite bad. The Victory one's supposed to be a lot more fun.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, because of the weird extra bits that they poop in. But Mikey, let me take you on to the KFC. We talked about a horrible torture rack that is first aid. There is a KFC KP-18. It's a medical bed for Optimus Prime. No one else is allowed on this bed, Mikey. Only Optimus Prime. It's nicely detailed. It's apparently scaled to be for Optimus Prime so he can die, I guess. If you're really interested, the dimensions are 357 millimeters by 140 millimeters by 107 millimeters, and should fit Optimus Prime Masterpiece very well. It also seems to open up a little bit. I don't really know why it's got joints on it, but it does.
Why not?
What do you think, Mikey? Do you want to go to sleep and die on this bed?
I mean, it's not a hill I die on.
Oh, it's a bed. That's why.
Yay! It's fine. I mean, that's a very specific accessory for a very specific display.
Yeah, either you want Prime to die on it, or you just want something to fill out your Arc playset, I guess, because it's colored like, obviously, the background of the Arc, so I guess you could use it for that. But it's, like you say, it's, not the most exciting thing. But if you wanted something, it's there. A little bit more interesting, I suppose, is the KFC-P14 Raijin and P-15 Grand Raijin. These are, of course,
Raijin.
Power Master Optimus Prime / Super Ginrai.
Yeah, you know who this is, Andy. Why are you saying
Super
Ginrai?
Yeah, because I was reading it, I was like, Ginrai? I was like, it should be Jinrai, but my mind just died. So it's like, okay, Ginrai. So it's these two. And by these two, I mean this one. So the Raijin is going to be the Optimus Prime. And I'm guessing, the Grand Raijin is the trailer. So if you want just Ginrai, you can have him. But if you want him to turn into Super Ginrai, you can get the trailer. Which is good, because this is what me and you have always said, Mikey. He wants a stinky trailer. Even though, this time, the trailer actually facilitates a function.
Yes, and it's kind of half the point you buy it in the first place. But still, the principle is still, like, at least make the trailer do something.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I never liked Super Jinrai. I always thought, like, talk about it. We'll talk about it when we talk about this figure. I never thought his model looked great. Like, I always preferred Ginrai and then God Ginrai. I was never like, Super Ginrai. I was like,
I don't think this is a good translation of, like, so I like the Power Master. The original Power Master toy is really fun.
Yes,
it's one of my favorite old school toys.
it has issues, but it's fun issues, you know.
Yeah. Hey, that hitch breaks a lot.
I think for a lot of people, I think that was their Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah, definitely a whole generation.
A lot of people,
But
yeah.
So I also like I've always had a fondness for that take on the core Optimus design with the way the extra hinges work out and the low detail and stuff like that. And I think
you know what it's like, Mikey? It's like they took the G1 Optimus Prime and did something differently with
Andy,
it.
Smell the chloroform. Smell the chloroform.
Oh
it's
my
fine. There we go. So I think KFC's design for this looks pretty solid in the core robot mode. Looks like it's fairly posable. The base chest looks. I think it's because like everything else in it is very detailed, but that means like the base chest looks weirdly under detailed in comparison.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think it doesn't help that the hinge joints, obviously for how the shoulders go back, are right next to the front of the boob. So the sides of where the blue bit are just kind of cut directly down to facilitate the hinges. So that's probably not helping out either. If you could like flip the chest forward, like unfolded extra bits just to cover those hinges, that might have helped. But I definitely see what you mean. They need some extra lines or something on there.
I always think with those hinges, like, try and integrate them into the design. Like, don't make it look completely G1. Just try and integrate them in somehow. Like, that's smoother than what's going on there. Okay, so the Power Master, I like the arms.
Oh, the actual Power Master part.
Yeah, I like the arms. I don't like the chest proportions at all. I think the head sculpt's okay, and I don't like the legs.
What's wrong with the legs?
The legs are very gappy for third party, and am I crazy or does it? They've got like I get maybe it's not a bad idea considering they haven't given him a foot, but he's got like big stabilizing planks sticking at the back, and my response to that would be give him a foot.
I think this would be really good if it was like a Hasbro release of Jinrai, the little dude.
Like it's probably better
be a
than
really
the
solid
Titans Return one. We'll say that. Which
yes,
is a toy I liked, agree. But that was like so obviously a retool of another toy. I don't. If it was me, I'd be like, okay, cool. I can get Raijin or Grand Raijin, and I'm getting Raijin and bye Grand Raijin. If I was picking one of these up, like I wouldn't bother with the Power Master armor.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, what's your thoughts?
I mean, are we talking about just a Jinrai? Because, he seems okay. It seems like he's I think, design-wise, at least for the head, does he feel... Because I can't remember what his head looked like in Master Force. Was his head slightly different from G1 Optimus Prime?
I think so. I think it was chunkier, because, like, the actual... the thing is, like, the design of the Power Master head is actually quite different, now I remember it.
The toy was, certainly. I mean, like, the animation model, though.
I think the animation model was also quite different, but... This isn't that model as far as I can tell. It
looks like G1 Optimus Prime.
Yeah, it looks a bit too G1-y.
Yeah, specifically the animated version of Optimus Prime, like where he's got the little cap almost. It's not like the perfect like baseball cap. It seems closer. I don't know. I don't think it's bad.
It's difficult to tell.
Yeah.
Again, an 80s anime.
Yes.
Wow, model changes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a big fan of the Super Jinrai. There's again something off with the proportions. Like the chest is quite obviously it's very squared, but the legs seem incredibly long as well. Also, the change in the blues, like we go from a very like royal blue, shall we call it, to a much more a darker kind of metallic-y blue for Super Jinrai.
Yeah.
So it kind of sticks out. Obviously, as well, he's got a lot of back because he's holding a lot of a cab. I don't think it's bad. The base mode seems fine, you know.
It's what you'd expect.
Yeah, it's exactly what you would expect. I think the nice thing about the base mode is they've actually painted the details into it, so you don't need to worry about stickers or anything. But yeah, I think on its own, Jinrai seems to look like a better deal overall than the trailer. The trailer just seems to be like. Is it cynical to say like a way to gain more money as a company because you can sell it separately?
Oh, definitely. Like definitely, there's definitely like an element of trying to bulk up your earnings here. But...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And it's KFC, and I think we're still on the boat of. I think KFC is still currently unproven as of yet.
Yeah, no, there's
The return of them.
Yeah, very little. Like, I haven't heard a lot of feedback on whether or not they've had a turnaround or not. But
has any of their new? I don't think any of their new products have came out since they've.
I don't think
done stuff,
so.
right?
But feel free, people, to correct me.
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel we've talked about them for only a month or so, maybe 2 months since they've kind of came back from nowhere, and I don't think any of their product has appeared since then. I think we've only just seen the rumblings of what will come out eventually. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Again, like you say, let us know if we are, which we could be. Mikey, Cyberverse, it's finally out.
Yeah,
right?
Cyberverse official release of part 2 of season 4, the finale of the series, has been released up on the YouTubes. So if you're interested, at least in a lot of countries like Europe or America or Canada, probably not the UK still. So Perfect Decepticon special Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventure Season 4 TV Special Part 2 Perfect Decepticon available for streaming. So it's about 44 minutes, so it's not the biggest absorption of your time. I like I said, I did see it last week because I didn't want anyone to spoil this for me. So I will go into small bit of detail now. So I'll spoil some character appearances. I won't spoil any character action. So if you just want to go in completely blank, like pause here or skip the next 5 or 6 minutes, your call. I'll just say watch it. I think it's excellent. I thought it was an excellent ending. Made me realize how much I've come to actually love this show without realizing it. It sort of struck me that, like, wow, I'm really emotional at the end of this. Why am I this emotional? Oh, I'm really sad to see this go. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so basic premise is the perfect Decepticons from the end of Season 3 return, except because Megatron X is now dead, they are basically trying to kill each other to see who's going to come out on top. One of them, named Tarn, wants help to get a thing to stop it. Naturally, being named Term, he's completely trustworthy and no one should doubt him.
Turn.
Yeah, so this one starts off like fairly light toned and then about halfway through gets pretty heavy and moves into darker stuff. Tarn is voiced by the same guy who does Megatron, and I've got to say, pretty much everyone in this does a great job on the voice acting. There also seems to be a little bit of a higher effect budget on this.
Okay.
The character models look a bit more, not detailed so much as like more three-dimensional, and special effects like energy blasts and stuff definitely look different than before. Like, whereas I felt part 1, the budget probably went down a little bit because, only a couple of new models and all very low. This feels like this is where some money went. Characters, Optimus is very good in this. Still, unfortunately, trapped a little bit in the post-Cullen era, but they play with him a lot more. He has a very good finale, I think. Bumblebee is amusingly not really relevant to Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures. It's mostly it starts off about Prime, it switches to about Hot Rod, and it ends up on Soundwave. Soundwave is kind of cementing himself as one of the really, really good TV versions of Soundwave, and again has a really solid performance. Tarn is not the most complex villain, but I think they did a really good job of making it make a bit of sense, and I thought the voice acting for him especially was great. He's played by the same guy who does Megatron, and Megatron is one of the better voice acted characters in general in the show, and I thought, like, without some of the Megatron inflections, he's able to do a really good job. Also made me realize how small the cast is for Cyberverse. There's so many people.
How many people do they have?
I'd say less than 15.
And that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different characters. Well, yeah, obviously they're not all flushed down. They don't have massive story arcs or anything like that.
Like,
but that's very G1-y, I hate to say. Yeah. I hate to pull up the G1-y thing.
No, absolutely. But, like, I'm looking at the number of speaking characters in this episode. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20... 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35.
Hmm.
With like a lot of crossover, and they've actually lost a couple of actors. Some of the actors aren't in here, so some people are pulling extra duty.
Wow.
But I thought the story was really well paced. I thought as a finale, it's really strong. One of the stronger ones we've honestly had for Transformer cartoons.
Oh, okay.
I know, like, I connected with season 2 a lot more than you did.
I really didn't like season 2, but I have a fundamental issue with the structure of the show more so than anything else. That's my issue, because I will say I think the writing is good, but it is hampered by the length of each episode.
And I
100%. I think the writers could have done much better if they were given an actual Transformers show with a normal time length each episode.
Yeah. I like, for me, I think that it kind of showed like the writing really made it work, because the writing is actually pretty good. So for me, it's like, oh, even with the limited time frame, they got really good at sticking a lot of stuff in there. And like I think the quintessence arc in season 3 is kind of the absolute pinnacle of that. But I think like the pacing in this is really good. It doesn't feel short. It doesn't feel chopped. It feels like a double episode. It feels like an extended episode, like a typical like TV special length. And I think for a finale, I think it's strong. Like, I think these two-parters are better than Beast Hunters, the movie. Because I think Beast Hunters, the movie, has a lot of really, 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 really good moments in them. But the problem is, like, it doesn't really have a goal that's really relevant to what's come before.
Okay.
It's just like, here's Unicron and some Predacons. You've seen this before. This feels more like it's testing the new piece. It's bringing in this new villain who sees things very differently. It's bringing characters to fore, like Soundwave. So I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. What I did want to say was there is a YouTube channel on the smaller side, Kian Carlisle's Transformers channel, literally called that. And he is doing an interview with Randolph Hurt. Now, Randolph Hurt is the head writer / showrunner for Cyberverse. And so part 1 is up now, talks about the early development and seasons 1 and 2, and part 2 is obviously coming in a few days. Some really interesting tidbits in here. Randolph Hurt, like, reveals some interesting stuff. Like, originally, tidbits, yes, well done. Originally, he was asked to come in and pitch for a 22-minute show. And he was specifically asked to come in because he knew nothing about Transformers. He just knew, like, the base stuff. And then that show never went ahead, and he was asked to come in again and pitch for an 11-minute show like Cyberverse. And he did, and they wanted to delve into the world building a lot more, but they were very insistent. They want Bumblebee to have amnesia, they want Bumblebee not to talk, and they want a lot of they want the flashback structure. And very interestingly, he just came out and said, like, yeah, I really don't like those first 4 episodes. I think they're really flat because we were just, like, really going through the motions. And it wasn't until we hit, like, our first proper bit of backstory. He also didn't like doing the radio voice and was really glad that in season 2 they got rid of it. And
who does like doing the radio voice? Because it absolutely kneacaps your character.
Yeah,
in
and
terms
they were
of,
also
conversation. It's stupid.
He also said something really interesting. Originally, they wanted to have, we wanted to have, like, different radio clips and different people reading the voices, but they didn't have the budget, so they had to have your man do it, which made it just seem like Bumblebee was talking all the time.
Okay.
Instead of the radio thing, because it's just the same guy saying things, just a bit weird. Other interesting tidbits to come out of it were, they were, like, he and the writers all kind of came together at the end of season 1 and says, we don't really want to do this anymore. We want to do a different show, and we want to change it up, which is why season 2 gets rid of a lot of the trappings of season 1, like the flashbacks and everything else. Like, they said they wanted to tell a much more serialized story, and Hasbro pushed back for a while, but eventually get them the freedom.
Okay, well, fine. Hasbro went, you know what? Maybe we should let the writers do what they want and make something good.
Yeah.
Hasbro, for God's sake.
Also, reveal some really interesting things. Like, for season 1, they were only allowed to have 8 models in every episode because of budget. Which is why some episodes, you won't have people transforming because they count as an individual character in the budget. So, like, they had to basically decide, do we want to have this character, or do we want to have this character and their alt mode? Like, obviously, that kind of went out the window when they hit season 2, 3, and 4, because the roster explodes. But that was really interesting to me as well. And there was something really, really... Oh, yes. I now know what percentage of the audience watching Transformers cartoons are adults.
3.
3%?
Yes.
No,
3. Just 3. 3
Just
people.
3.
You're one of them. Vangelis is another one.
Yes. Vangelis is actually all 3. But
oh my god!
Because he said, like, he was trying to figure out the tone of the show, because he said, like, oh, well, I wanted to include comedy, I wanted to include some action, but I wanted
I thought you meant Vangelis was trying to figure out the tone of the show.
Like, he said a really interesting thing to me, like, we didn't want to do a straight comedy or a lighthearted thing. Like, Transformers is... I don't know Transformers, but I know that Optimus Prime dies, and that's really important.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he said, I want to include tragedy in it, which is why I think the show gets more serious and has a much higher body. Actually, I did Matt, it has one of the highest named body counts of any Transformers series.
Oh, wow.
Like, I think it's nearly, excluding the movie, I think it's like twice that of G1. In fact, I think including the movie, it might be twice that of G1.
Yeah, actually, this is one of the things that's kind of weird about Cyberverse, because Transformers got to the point where it wanted to really condense down its cast really heavily and squish it down to like maybe a 5x5 team, 5 Decepticons, 5 Autobots.
Yeah.
We kind of saw that with the movies. We saw that continuing on with Prime. Even though I love Prime, it does have a very truncated cast. Animated has a pretty small cast until season 3, where they finally start expanding it. While Cyberverse just went, let's fucking be almost like G1 and just throw people. Just go, there's fucking loads of people. There you go. So it's kind of nice in that aspect as well.
Yeah, but they said, like, when you're right, because he's interested in tone and like, what can I do in this one? He said, like, always remember in writing this, a third of your audience is adults.
Wow, not 3%.
Not 3%. Which one he then said, like, oh, I'll just write for myself then, because like, oh, I just write like I'm watching it. Okay, but what I was not expecting them to come out and say that 33% of the audience for an average Transformers show is adults. I don't know, that say that we are just a large number of us are watching or no one's watching. I don't know what that means. I mean, someone must be watching or else they wouldn't be making money. But I've always wondered about that, like, because I always assumed it was like, okay, 5-10% maybe at most. Because that's, we make up about that much of the toy market overall. But like, we're a third of everyone watching these shows are adults, which means like we are in the Pretty Cure range. We are in the range. For anyone who doesn't know, Pretty Cure is an anime designed for young girls, but it's an action anime, magical girl thing where they put like a kind of crazy budget into their fight scenes, and one of the key edicts of the show is to make sure that it is appealing to young girls and older to middle-aged men, because a huge number of their audience is men in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. No one, partly because of like the quality of the animation. So I'd like, wait, Transformers is our Pretty Cure? Like, okay, you have to make your show realizing that like a lot of children are watching it. You also have to make it realizing a lot of adults are going to be watching it.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating that we're like, Hasbro's at that stage where like we are just such a serious contender for like how they designed their shows. It makes me really curious about this Nickelodeon show, which all the rumors are is going to be a lot more comedic. Like how is that going to play out? Are you going to try and do Rick and Morty with Transformers? Because everyone keeps on trying to do Rick and Morty with everything now, and Rick and Morty wasn't that funny to begin with. There, I said it.
Oh shit!
It wasn't. It was like early Family Guy, a bit more like, oh, I didn't expect him to say that. Ah.
Wow.
And I'm not wrong.
Wow. Convince Mikey he's wrong if you choose to. Send him messages online.
I really think that interview is worth checking out. Really a lot more candid than I was expecting it to be.
Sounds pretty neat. Sounds like a good interview. Where can people find it if they want to?
Yeah, Keyan's Carlisle's Transformers channel. That's it. That's all it's called. So Keyan space Carlisle Carlile. Also, I will say the guy puts a lot of effort into editing his videos and putting in a few cutaways and having some fun with it. And I think like he does a really professional looking job. Like the guy deserves credit. And he's only got 8,000 subscribers. Based off this, a lot of Transformers animation YouTube is not up to this level, in my opinion. So I think this guy deserves a lot more attention. So that's my opinion. That's my thoughts. Yeah, I have watched it. I will probably watch it again.
Would you buy it on Blu-ray if you could? But we all know, absolutely. Ironically and amusingly, it'll never come to the UK.
Listen, I'm annoyed we haven't had a Tarn announced for Ultra, and I'm definitely annoyed we haven't had like a deluxe Sound Blaster announced. Because Sound Blaster is great.
Well, Mikey, we only have 3% of an adult audience watching the show.
True. We just don't have the media, the attention. We're not important enough to factor in.
And because of that, Mikey, we're going to focus all of our money on the 86 Studio Series line and Legacy.
Yeah, because everyone's watching those constantly. And no, what they'll do, they'll bring in like, oh, here's Cyberverse Tarn. Oh, no, it's not. That's IDW Tarn.
Oh, no, it's not. It's G1 version of IDW
Oh,
Tarn.
God, that's even worse. It'll be like, here's Cyber... Listen, I know Prime Soundwave is rumored for Legacy now, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus.
It'll just be Soundwave, right?
They'll just give him a fucking G1 face and make him blue. Yeah. Bright blue, and they'll give him a bird laser beak, and I'm going to be so fucking pissed. And now they're like, don't worry, we're bringing Cyberverse. And it's like, oh, you're just going to give him a G1 head, aren't you? And make him blue and turn him into a tape deck.
People be like, oh, well, you don't be... Well, I'm not saying anyone of our audience, but I could see somebody saying like, stop being so cynical. And then I just like remember the RC figure and the bulkhead figure.
And RC in their face just like over and bash it in their face over and over again.
Why did they hurt our children, Mikey? Why did they do that?
The thing is, this has made me kind of want to pick up a Warrior Soundwave, see how easy it is to take apart, and then do a spray job into Sound Blaster, if I'm completely honest. Okay.
I think if you're going to take it apart as well, you probably need to tighten its joints up, because wasn't that an issue generally with the Deluxe Warriors? They're a little bit on the loosey-goosey side, clearly, because they haven't had the love put into them in the building-wise.
They do not have the budget, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Prowl, you could get Prowl.
Why is Prowl in the deluxe line? It doesn't make any sense.
He was really important at the end of at the beginning of season 3, and I know because I watched it.
Moment. That was his single biggest moment in the show,
because I haven't watched season 2, Mikey. I clearly believe that Prowl was a key and integral part of season 2 and had much development.
No,
I don't believe you. You're wrong. No. You're only 3% of the audience, Mikey. Your opinion doesn't matter.
I feel like Shadow Striker was kind of like Prowl, because like, wait, you're here?
when I heard that, I was like, is that because there was a thing going on between them?
Nope.
Why did she say Prowl? Like she cared about him.
I feel like I think it was more like, wait, you were here?
Who?
Like, I'd probably going like, no.
They call me Prowl. Who?
Oh dear. But hey, wow. Cheetor's dead.
Spoilers, not really. Mikey, shall I tell you about our last story, which is TFcon dumping their proverbial sticky white load upon us? Why? I don't know, but they are. Here we go. It's the TFcon guest roundup. Guest roundup time. I'm going to go through them all very quickly, because they are names. We got David K, Greg Berger. We got Brooke Chalmers, who's Impactor's that guy, who's Impactor's voice in War for Cybertron, the series that was on Netflix. I'll mention ones that people might not know. We got Morgan Lofting, who was Moonracer from G1, and the Baroness, more importantly, from G.I. Joe. Sorry, G.I. Joe was better in that aspect. We got Andre Mikey? Sogaliuzo, thank you. The voice of Sideswipe in Revenge of the Fallen, and
classic character.
What? Oh, yeah. I'd say Clawtrap from Robots in Disguise 2015, probably a better role.
I don't know who that was, but I don't remember RID 2015 very well, I'm realizing.
I'd say it's better than Revenge of the Fallen.
I mean, I hope so, because Jesus.
And the last one is Michael Bell as well. from G1. So yeah, that
will he be bringing his terrible dog?
I don't know. I don't know about his dog. I don't want to judge his fucking dog. Why is
Bell...
his dog terrible? Why are you hating on his dog?
Isn't Michael Bell the one who's videoed himself with his like little terrier thing, which hates him and everything around him?
I don't think so. Like, I don't know.
Tries to pet the dog, and it just like every time he goes to pet it, just like ah.
Is it the one that eats the finger? Is that Michael Bell that does that? I didn't know who that was.
Guy, anyway. Dog.
I wasn't sure.
Hang on, I'm just voice actor, dog, attack. Let's see what we get. Our angry dog. It's like a little palm or something like that. It's either Michael Bell or it's the guy who plays Perceptor. And I don't know which one it is off the top of my head.
Either way. Yeah, they're all going to be going. So if you're going to be going to TFcon, I assume all of these announcements happened around this time, maybe due to like people's schedules opening up and they can finally confirm that it's COVID. We can now confirm that we can go places, and since they can confirm, I'm guessing that TFcon can now unleash their load, as it were. And it is a big sticky load. So Mikey, that's it. That's all of our news for this week.
Yep.
What you been up to? Yeah, it's very, very, very light. But we did have 2 pairs of shoes, Mikey.
We did, Andy.
So, that is something important. Mikey, what did you do this week? What did you do for fun, my dude, my friend, my son?
God, it's been one of those weeks again. I'm having a lot of them. They should be coming to an end in about 3 weeks or a month or so. But until then, my life is constantly like, what is fun? I made time for a few things, but not a lot, unfortunately. Like, start playing Ark Survival Evolved again, just because it's like a brain dead. For me, at this stage, it's like brain dead, wander around, kill dinosaurs, get murdered by them. I don't have to
can't remember. Is there a new one out? Or coming out?
There's a new map coming out in December. There's another new map in early 2022, and a new game, Ark 2, is coming out for the PS5 generation in 2022, I think, assuming COVID delays.
So it'll be coming to PC later, theoretically.
No, PC is like their priority, so.
Oh, okay.
It'll be PC first, so just like I'm a PlayStation person. No, fuck you. I'll get God of War 2 first, so fuck y'all. Also, best Spider-Man movie.
Also, will you get God of War 2 first? God of War 2 first, because you'll need to buy PlayStation 5, which don't exist.
It's also on PlayStation 4.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay,
because they went, these don't exist. So I met someone during the week, and they said like, I rushed to Smith's to get my PlayStation 5, and I just stared at him, and I was just like, have you seen a unicorn?
Were they able to capture one?
I just don't believe you.
Did they capture one, or did they miss out?
They said they got one, and I'm just like, I don't believe you.
Sure. All right.
It's a lie. You're lying to me. It's okay if you're lying to me, but you are. So just messing about that, really. Closest thing I have to Pokemon. I was weirdly...
While catching a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but I was also weirdly tempted to try and pick up Brilliant Diamond at some point in the next couple of months for Pokemon, because I was just like, you know what I've never done in my whole life? A Nuzlocke run.
Oh,
and I've sold everything Pokemon related I have. But I've got my Switch for exercise, and we're just like, I really need to start actually playing games on that.
I'm shocked you actually care enough about Pokemon these days. I thought like you were just like, Pokemon's for fucking babies. Fuck babies.
Hello, I'm just going to look around at my toy collection. My problem with Pokemon is that it's the same fucking game every time.
And you think this will be different?
No, but it's like, well, I've never done a Nuzlocke run.
Okay,
so I could get that, or I could get like Sword if it's on, or Sword or Shield like if it's on sale or something, and just give it a go. Just like, I've never done one. I don't know if it, like, people always say like, it makes such a difference. I'm just like, I'm curious, because Pokemon gets really fucking easy when you play it normally.
Wait a second, have you got Astral Chain?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yes, I've had Astral Chain was the first game I bought.
That's fine.
Hey, Platinum. Anime-wise, I watched the 86 episode 18, just set up for the finale. So it was a good setup, but it's nothing to really delve into too much here. If you like the 86, it's still very good. If you didn't connect with the 86, it's exactly what you expect it to be. Megaton Musashi, I did check out. I'm starting to worry about that show, because last 3 episodes have hit this, like, fill out the cast roster thing that makes me think, like, oh, this is going to be 13 episodes, and you did not really pace this right for that.
Oh, no.
Which is a shame, because I really like those first 4 episodes. So I'm hoping I'm wrong, but, like, just the pacing changed very rapidly. Kind of reminded me a bit of Revenge of Bahamut. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I didn't
like
finish that. I think I got so far through and went, nah, fuck this.
Yeah, the first half of that is really good. The first half of the first season.
Like
and then they hit episode 6 or 7. And then suddenly, like, the pacing just goes down the toilet, and they just like, oh, nope, fuck. Yeah,
because you were really hyped for this Megaton show. You were like, Andy, you should go watch it. It's a super robot show. And
those
now
first
you're like,
4 episodes are really good.
Oh.
But
I wanted there to be another good mech show.
Yeah, but we'll see. Like 5, 6, and 7 could just be a weak phase, but we'll see. I'm suspicious.
Don't be darling in the Franks.
Nothing can ever be darling in the Franks, Andy, because that was half a year of our life that was really good, and then like basically
it died.
It died because of bloody background politics. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Genlock season 2 episode 3. Not a ton of action in this one. It's more character focused stuff. But yeah, good quality character focused stuff. And this was the episode where I realized, oh, this is airing on HBO Max.
Oh, so there'll be boob and titties.
Yes.
Am I right? Were there boob and titties?
Full frontal nudity and sex scene.
Puss too?
Male and female.
Oh my God! The penis! Oh my penis!
Yeah. And I was just like,
no!
I did the thing. I was like, I was not expecting that. Also, I realized that they upped the swearing quota, but that doesn't that's nothing. But like everything, like
did they say, "Oh my God, a naked penis," and then they started having sex?
No, they had like awkward like. They also kind of recontextualized a few characters to make them a lot less... Like, they're recontextualizing Season 1 a lot to make it like... Yeah, when you are being exposed to propaganda that your side are the good guys and the other side are the bad guys, it's really easy for everything to feel heroic.
Oh my God.
Whereas we're not saying that the other guys are not worse than us, but we're not exactly saying our hands are clean either.
Oh my God.
Also, I am totally betting that in the next episode, 2 characters are going to have gotten drunk and screwed. But that has not been confirmed. But I am totally betting.
Are you trying to ship characters, Mikey? Are you
I'm not
shipping your
it.
favorites?
It's just like they fucking set it up.
Oh, I wish my
like if it happens, it happens. It's horrible, horrible sex.
Why does it have to be horrible sex,
because
Mikey?
all sex is horrible, Andy. Reproduction is for God only.
What?
I don't know.
What is this Evangelion law that you're spewing now?
Oh God, I'm so glad that show can fucking die now because those is fucking
marmalade.
Everything. Hey,
Marmalade.
they did the movies, and it's member berry. From what I understand, it got very member berries.
Oh, interesting.
Which you'd think Ava would have tried to avoid. Considering...
Would they? Because it's been so long.
Yeah, it was what, 8 years?
Isn't that the only thing they have left?
One movie and the other?
Yeah. I just meant from the original movies as well, to be fair. But yeah,
well, like,
you're
I'm
quite
like...
right.
People are going like, go see Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I'm just like, everything I hear is like, hey, did you like this? Like, it just sounds like a better version of Force Awakens, which is, do you remember? Do you remember?
No, the way I've heard the new Ghostbusters Afterlife described is it's Ghostbusters 2 epilogue, so it's not really a good standalone movie. It's more like it's kind of a nice little bit at the end of a sesh. It's not a great film, and it's got problems to it. But it's got some nice, fun, heartfelt moments. I think it's a lot of people described it as it's got a lot more heart than some of the current movies that are going out, which is, that's nice, and it's respectful as well, which is probably a nice thing.
At some point, I still have to see Dune, which I've been meaning to watch, but
yeah, I miss I just can't go to the cinema at this point, but
yeah.
I would have gone and seen Dune if I could. It sounds like it was good, but it didn't have maybe the best pacing or the best end, one of the two.
From what I understand, they basically made it specifically like, we're not giving this an ending because we really want this to basically be part 1 to 2.
Yeah.
And like, we're basically using... It was their attempt to force the situation. Which apparently worked, but... It's
dangerous, at least they're not like forcing a trilogy, which, granted, back in the day was what you'd go for, like the Hover, for example. But it doesn't sound like they're going for a cinematic universe, which is obviously the trend of the...
Well, it would be really hard to do a Dune cinematic universe.
Oh, Mikey, do you remember? Hey, Mikey, how's that monster universe? How's the Dark Universe, Mikey?
Yeah, but that died. That's the thing.
Yes.
They made one movie and it was really bad.
No. They made two.
Did they make a second one? What was the other one?
There was Dracula Untold.
That wasn't part of the Dark Universe, was it? That was just like some random 2000-something's bad movie, wasn't it?
No, that was going to be part of the Dark Universe.
Really? I never knew that. I thought that was just like some standalone, and then they were going to do a Dracula movie in the middle of it all.
I'm pretty sure that they had the logo for the Dark Universe, whatever that was, at the start of Dracula Untold. I'm pretty sure. I did watch it, and I was like, wow, this was terrible and silly.
Yeah, no, they were all very bad.
You know what's terrible but really good? Van Helsing.
Oh, I love Van Helsing.
It's so terrible, but it's great.
I always liked the werewolf design. I didn't like the ears, but I did like I like the idea of the transformation, like it just sort of rips its skin off.
I mean, that's very old school in itself, that way of doing things. I mean, if you said to me, hey, Andy, how about they did the cinematic universe between The Mummy with Brendan Fraser and Van Helsing? I'd be like... yeah, fucking yeah, because those two are very kind of similar in terms of their tone and their fun factor. Obviously that didn't happen, and unfortunately, Brendan Fraser didn't have that. Was a great
life. That was the guy playing Dracula in Van Helsing is having so much fun with so many battles. It's just like I'd rather die than help you. Don't be boring. Everyone who says that dies, and it was just like, oh no, I love you.
Do you know who else he played, Mikey? That guy. He played Moriarty in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
He didn't. I don't remember. I remember League of Extraordinary Gentlemen it killed Sean Connery's career.
That was such a bad film.
Ah, dear. I haven't seen that since like 2006.
It's pretty pants. It's pretty pants. It's a little bit on the non-sec. I can't even speak. It's so weird.
Yeah, but yeah, so I need to see Dude. But last thing of note was that I watched Revice episode 11, which was really solid. Another really solid episode. Focuses on the sister who has been in the background a bit, but is building that she's really unsatisfied with her role in life because she's the only one of them who's actually able to fight without powers. Because she's a martial artist, so she's like, oh, I could help. No, you can't. But I want to help. No, you can't. No, you can't. And they're setting up a rivalry between her and Aguilera, who is the big bad, or the leader anyway, of the Deadmans. Because they're both girls.
Oh my god.
Women fighting. Yep. Also setting up another writer. But like this episode, apart from the psychological stuff with the sister, the fights were really good in this one. They had the first team up between Revi, Vice, and Live, and they really played off the different powers very well. Like Revi and Vice are very up in your face, and Live is just guns. And Demons gets a new stamp, and he's really cool, which is based off of Joker, Kamen Rider Joker, which is just a repaint of the double stamp, but gives him bird wings.
Fair enough.
This episode did, because marketing, what this episode did that was good was it had a lot of like low-key stuff that made me sort of go, hang on a sec. Like there was a bit where it turned out last episode, when he used the Brachiosaurus themed form, it wasn't like the purified version that he's normally used. And then he just like really said like, wow, the semi-evil scientist was just like, wow, I really worried when he was using that, because if he tried the remix form, ... And I was just like, what?
Go on.
What if he tried it without you? Because you've said that now, which means I'm fully expecting him to try that with a stamp at some point.
100%.
Yeah. And
Hello,
the other thing was...
gun.
Yeah. The other thing was they set up... a few episodes ago, they set up the creepy family who were totally not, like, creepy spies. And then like when the daughter runs away because she's like, I've had enough, I'm leaving home for a few days, she ends up staying with them, and she's just looking around their apartment. They're super clean with no personal belongings apartment.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, okay, we're really drawing attention to the fact these are creepy shits. But yeah. So yeah, basically Revice continues to be engaging and fun, in my opinion. And yeah, there's like 3 or 4 things, like low-key mystery set up already, and I think that's really good. But yeah, that was me really, Andy. What about you?
What have I done?
For fun.
Ask? I finished off Get a Robo Armageddon. That's done now.
Did you hate it?
No. I didn't love it. I've got some issues with like characters like Go. Like I don't give a shit about Go in it because he's not
No
a
one
character.
does. No one does.
He's not a character. He says, "I need to protect you" to K like twice, and that's his character. And you don't really know anything about him. It's okay. Like I wouldn't say I love it. I wouldn't say I hate it. I just I'm happy I watched it, but I don't ever feel I need to rewatch it again. It doesn't have the crazy hype moments, say that like in Gaogaiga that I would kind of hope for, or Shin Massinger, for instance.
I think when people talk about Get a Robot Armageddon as something really crazy and everything else, they're mostly referring to those last couple of episodes. Primarily once Dragon comes out again. And it's such an atypical design.
Yes.
And then you've got the big final fight with Shin and Dragon, and then Emperor shows up at the end, and I think that's what people remember. Not
I can see that
13 episodes beforehand.
Yeah, and it's not like it's bad. It's just like once you get to the Armageddon area, let's call it, you have a few episodes of establishing that, and then you have a few episodes of getting Ryoma back, and it's just Ryoma didn't age. Like the Getter explosion just somehow made him go into the future. They go, okay, how?
Because Getter.
Effectively, because of Getter. It's like, why did he land up? He was on the moon. Why? I don't know. Get a raise. It's like, well, did he die on the moon? No, there was oxygen there. Okay. So what does he do? Oh, he's in a facility which has oxygen and it's fully powered, and he's able to rebuild a Getter 1. He decides to paint it black and take it back to Earth as Getter Black. It's like, okay.
Yeah, why not?
I feel we've jumped some stones here. We've jumped some of the skipping stones, but okay. Getter Black looks amazing. Getter Black is one of the best designs.
Which is weird because it's just Getter 1, but almost fatter.
Yeah, I like his little mouth guard. I really like his crazy eyes as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's got fucking crazy eyes.
Is Getter Black alive? I don't remember.
If it is, it's not said in Armageddon.
Because Shin's alive and Dragon's alive.
Well, it's not really said in the anime, though, again.
Like, Shin being alive is like a massive plot point in, like, Getter in general. But
Dragon, it says, obviously, Dragon's alive. We know this, because it activates without Go or anybody inside it. Fair enough. But Shin doesn't really talk about Shin being alive. It's just like, it's the ultimate Getter. And then, clearly, it wasn't. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, okay, this is one of the things, like, broader speaking, it is, like, the scariest fucking one, because it's the most likely to turn into Emperor.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's just, obviously, that's from other fiction. I'm obviously just speaking within Armageddon. Why you go? I tell you what, the robot army is utter shit. They're like, we've got this, and then they'll start dying. It's like, you don't got shit. What are you talking about? We got this. No, you don't. Go away.
See, do you know what would have worked better for that? If Gaogaigar did something like that, it would work really well, because it's like, oh my god, it's not working. Why? They do not have brave courage! Or something like that. Or like when Gurren Lagann did it, and it's just like, we've mass-produced the robots, and I was just like, yeah, but Gurren Lagann's powered literally by this man screaming, whereas yours isn't.
Yes.
And he can scream a long fucking time.
That's the thing. It's like there's a way to do that, but you just effectively made chaff, and the chaff is like, oh, no, we've got this. And it's like, we know you don't got this. We know you can't do anything to these guys. To be fair, though, at some point, sometimes the robot army is able to damage the invader enemies. Like in the last 3 episodes or something, they're in space, they're actually able to kill stuff. Prior to that, they couldn't take out one. And it's just like, so what changed? It's less story convenience, effectively. And you go, okay, fair enough. I understand. But yeah, I'm making these issues, but I wouldn't say I disliked it. I would just say I was like, yeah, this is fine. I didn't hate it, though. I was just like, it was an okay go. So I've started Super Robot Wars OG The Inspectors. I have gotten about 4 episodes through, and I'm like, things are happening. And it feels like I'm meant to know who any of these motherfuckers are. I have no idea about the situation here. What's going on? I go on Wiki and it says, oh, there was a prior anime series. I'm like, well, that would explain it.
It's not just that. Like, part of the design intent was early on, really early on in like the Super Robot Wars animes, really early on, they were hoping to do it like Super Robot Wars.
In what sense?
Like, bring in all these different franchises and everything else. And like, you came here for Gaugagar, you came here for Gundam, you're familiar with the archetypes, you're familiar with the names, and like they didn't get licenses to do that, so they just stuck in a bunch of original robots, but didn't really change the structure at all.
Oh, okay,
so
interesting.
The structure is still, hey, you should already be familiar with all this shit, and they're just like, I'm not, no.
Is that the same for the other series called Divine War, which is the series beforehand? Because I've started grabbing that.
Yeah, because it was basically made by the same people.
Am I going to have issues then going into Divine War?
I don't know. I don't think you'll have as many issues because it's not a sequel, but I think there's going to be moments where you're going to be like, this would be a lot more epic because obviously this was supposed to be a robot I'm familiar with and already love.
Right. Yeah, because there's been some introductions to characters who I just look at and I'm like, you are talking like you know these characters, and I barely know the current characters that have been featured in like a small amount of these 3 episodes because it's a very big ensemble cast. What's happening? Who are the DC? I don't know. There was a big alien fight. Who? I don't know. There's some people called W11 and W12. What the fuck? Are these robot women? What's going on? I don't know. So I've obviously I found that there's Divine War. I've seen one issue I already will have with Divine War, and it's the fact that all the robots are CGI. I'm like, for fuck's sake, of course they are. Of course they are. Oddly enough, not in the Inspectors. In the Inspectors, they are, for the most part, they seem to all be drawn, which is like, oh, well.
Morally.
They're drawn morally. I never thought of that, but yes, they are drawn morally. I do like the fact that
I've been meaning to watch Godanner for years. Because
what's Godanner?
Godanner is one that's got like a Sunrise Brave aesthetic, but is distinctly not drawn morally. Like, distinctly unmoral. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, every trailer I've seen for this looks insane, and I need to watch it, but it always goes out of my head.
When you say it's drawn unmorally, are you saying like the robot has big old titties flopping about? Like, what?
I mean, everyone does.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And like, it's a plot point.
Okay, I'm interested.
Which
maybe
is
I'll have to give it
also
a watch.
something that got me like going, because like, hang on, you worked that into the story?
Oh yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you? You know, it's not a hentai if there's plot behind it and no sex, right?
This is one of the robots. This is one of the. This is one of the girl robots, I believe.
Oh my
obviously
god!
It's.
I do like the fact that the end of the Inspectors show, the credits are basically, oh, what if all the girls from the show went to the beach?
Well, what if all the girls from the show Andy went to the beach?
It's a ludicrous, like, hey, a fan service right at the end of the show, and you're like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Is it less ridiculous than the end of Gundam Wing, which is just like, Relina goes on safari.
Oh, well, that's the thing that could happen.
And pulls a rhino tail. And
wow,
this has nothing to do with anything.
Like, the Gona guy would be really happy with this robot design. Especially if those boobs were missiles or cockpits.
I can't tell you if there are either one. But
it could literally go either way. That's barely a mecha design. Someone has to have cosplayed as this, right? Because this is just like a lycra suit with some bits on the side with a weird helmet, right?
Yeah, it's not quite. What I always find myself when I see design, I'm just like, I remember when Galgagar did female mechs, and people said like, look, they have light up boobs, and I was just like, that's all they were though, moderately sized light up boobs. Everything else super robot. And
you see this, and you're like, oh my god, Jesus, no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then of course like the first female mech in Gaigar, which was the Nuda.
Yeah. Well,
which was distinctly not feminine.
No, not at all. What else have I been up to? I think that's all of my watching stuff, apart from been watching Iron Mouse interview Project Melody, which has been interesting, as it always is. I would always describe Project Melody as an incredibly stupid smart person. Is that fair? Is that an unfair statement?
I think most people who are smart are usually very stupid, but that's a different conversation.
There are specific things that Melody seems to be completely baffled by. Like, really simple, obvious, well, what I would consider simple and obvious things. And yet she knows so much about very specific topics. Very specific topics. And it's not always just porn related or like sexually related. Sometimes it's just like weird science things that she knows for no particular reason. I guess because she's had a random interest and gone in hard for the research on it. And it's interesting. I think like she is an interesting person. Like her brain is her most interesting aspect. And I'd love to like crack her head open like a little egg and devour her brain for some
gain
fun
her
times.
power?
No, just eat it. You've seen Hannibal, haven't you?
Yeah, but I'm thinking more like, what was that movie? Heroes. I'm thinking Heroes.
Heroes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Silas did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it turned out he was just like poking brains.
Yeah, man. Heroes could have been good. There was some interesting things in Heroes, and then they just shit the bed frequently.
I thought it was really bad because it was like, what if X-Men, but TV, prestige TV, edgy TV. And I remember sitting through it and going like, this is atrocious.
I thought to myself, there's some interesting aspects to it, and I liked parts of it, but I remember giving up with it pretty much after season 1 and being like, oh, for fuck's sake.
And I also hate that I went like, Silas, hey, we made a serial killer character, but Dexter's a thing now, so we need to
make him good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was definitely a thing.
Also, they brought Dexter back this year.
Did they? I thought that was done.
Terrible idea, because that show wasn't very good to begin with.
No. But Mikey, I will say this. I will take... I would have taken the potential that I felt Heroes had, I say that specifically, over the CW Warner Brothers shows any day.
A potential, yes, but I think at least the CW shows usually have at least one good season early on. And
I disagree. Batwoman.
I haven't seen Batwoman.
Mikey. I would also disagree because I remember I don't think I really liked what was the time travel one with Doctor Who in it?
That got weird and bizarre.
I remember seeing season 1 and being like, this.
Oh no, season 1 is the worst, by far the worst season of that. Season after that, because they had a standard showrunner, and he was like, oh, we need to do like everything else, and like afterwards they were just like, he quietly went away, and then the new showrunner came in and said like, that'd be insane.
Oh God, I've got to fix this now.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Well, from what I saw of Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It's bad.
It's got aliens in the most recent one. Like an alien as a team member who keeps trying to eat the other team members, if I remember right.
As you do. I think like this was obviously the influx of the live action hero thing, where I just stopped caring anymore about live action superhero things. It's done. We need a break, and we need someone else to do something really interesting with it.
True.
Whether I don't think it's going to happen for a while, but never mind. What else have I been up to? Anything of value? I got some stuff from Japanaland, because the buff day was on Monday, as I mentioned last week. So I got the stuff that I got myself, because I didn't get anything on my birthday. Actually, that's a lie. Matt got me a Blu-ray DVD for Konosuba Season 1. So thank you very much, Mr. Matt. I'll have to get Season 2 at some point. And I don't think the movie ever came out, oddly enough.
Not over
yet.
Here, no. We only got the cinema, which... I mean, was one of the best cinema experiences I've had in years. But
yes, it was weird to be in a film full, a cinema full of anime people, and everybody laughing at the jokes. I went to the subtitled version as well, like a good boy.
Yeah, I stumbled upon a hilarious VTuber clip of like this really angry Australian one I'm not familiar with, going like, "Oh, you watch dubs? Go away." Dubs are. Yes. She went on like a 5-minute rant about it. It was great.
a wise woman. A wise woman. Maybe one day they'll actually release the movie, as that is basically season 2.5 until they do season 3. When? When?
Listen, they still haven't announced ReZero season 3.
Yeah,
I don't want to get that for like
5
years. I'll be dead.
I was gonna say we're definitely not getting that for like 4 years or something, guaranteed.
Yeah,
because that's how that fucking works, unfortunately. What else? Gruff got me a little Warhammer model, which was nice, a vampire from the. I guess it was some kind of celebration. It's one of the unique models, so that was very kind of him. And for myself, I got Super Mini Pla Firebird, Fire Dag 1, and these are all built, by the way, and the Mazinger, Great Mazinger Infinitism version. Infinitism? The one from Infinite.
Yeah, Infinitism.
Yeah, they've got the names for it. So
even though Kaiser is not in that, is he?
No.
Or is Great Mausinger in that? Sorry.
No. Oh no, Great Mazinger is in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Mazinger, Great Mazinger, and then that's it. That's all that's in that film. But for some reason they wanted to do Kaiser and Getter Dragon in that line for some reason.
I don't like the original Getter Dragon design. I think it's the head.
For me, it's the underpants. The yellow underpants. I've seen the Getter Dragon when the underpants, we'll call them, are coloured red, and it matches the rest of the body. Looks good. I generally like that design. I don't think it's the best Getter design, but I don't mind it. Usually I like Getter 1 designs. I don't like any of the other ones. I don't like Getter 2, any of them. I don't like Getter 3, any of them.
I kind of like Arc's Getter 2 and 3. I actually like...
Okay, you got me there, but then again, I don't like Arc Getter 1
Arc's
at all.
base design isn't great. And then again, I saw the design they did for Dragon in that, and that's not great either.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I don't know. I will say this about the Great Mazinger. It's good. It's really good. It's quite tall, especially for an HG. I really like all the details and stuff on it. It gives a really nice dynamic, detaily look to a Mazinger, which obviously can look a little bit flat otherwise because of it being an old school robot. Its packaging is really fucking bizarre because I think you get as much in a pack like this as you do in a normal high-grade Gundam kit. You get a stand as well. But instead of, how a high-grade kit might be a little bit taller, a little bit chunkier, but dimension-wise not too massive. Like, generally speaking, of course, there are exceptions. This one is, what if you got one of those high-grade boxes and flattened it out? It's a very, very flat box. And I think they could have done a better job at, I'm guessing it's just for, shelf display or something. Yeah. But it makes obviously a little bit more faffy to ship to us in the UK here because it's such a big long box, even though it's not dense. But the actual figure itself is really good. It doesn't have things like the drill knuckle punch, pressure punch. Where he gets the rocket punch, but then he's got the bits coming out the side of his arms, and then he does it. Doesn't have that. He's missing some accessories like that. There's also a few a that he gets on the side of his legs and stuff, which he doesn't have. But he's got all the essential stuff. He's got 2 Mazinger blades. He's got the chest fire piece on his back. He's got the scramble something. I think it's the scramble jet for his back. He looks good. I really like him quite a lot. I'd like maybe the connection for his elbows to be a bit better, because it's meant to be easily removable for you to rocket punch. But it ends up being a very small peg, and not a very deep peg either, and port. So you can make it look nice. I think that's why they made the peg small, but I would have liked that to have been a bit longer and given it a bit more of a secure connection to the rest of the arm. Otherwise, I'd recommend grabbing one. Grab a Mazinger, a Great Mazinger, a Mazing Kaiser, if you're tempted. Or a Jeeg. Apparently, they've done Jeeg in that style as well. But I'm not a big fan of Jeeg's design. In terms of Fire Dagwon and Firebird, again, I like them. They have some issues of being mini-pla, which are, I'd like more parts of them to peg in for either mode, for either the robot mode or the alt modes, both obviously being plain modes. If they had a few more pegs and ports, I think that would help them be a bit more stable in some of these modes. But generally, I like them. I've always been a fan of the mini-pla because I think the plastic that they use is a bit more robust than on a normal high grade kit. It always feels a bit more firm and a bit thicker, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because they are candy toys, and thus they're like, children will buy these things, so we got to make them tough. I don't know. There's something about them that it just feels different. With Fire Dagwon, you get Dag, so you got 2. You got Fire Dagwon and you got Dag. Dag's transformable as well. He comes with 2 guns. He's quite good. Again, he definitely could use a few pegs to help his car mode feel a bit more tight and secure. And Firebird comes with the yellow robot android that goes into his chest. So you got a posable version of him. What's that?
Good.
Yeah. Overall, I really like him. But then again, I'm a big sucker of the Super Mini Plus stuff. In the future, I need to get Powered Dagwon and Gun Kid and the Sword Dude, and then that's all of Fire Dag ones or Dag 1 series done because they haven't done any of the other ones, and I don't think they will. I'd like to get Tenryujin because it's the only official version that you can get of them. And I'd also like to get. Is there any other ones? No, I think the rest of them aren't out yet, but there is going to be Grand Bird for Firebird to combine together, and then Dryas, who hasn't got an announcement as of yet. But I will be getting them in the future. But yeah, there we go. That's all the bits that I got and played with and built this week. It was quite a heavy building week, I suppose. Mikey, do we have any messages from some
I
people?
don't this week, no.
All right, well, I've got some messages. So let us go over to the place that is called My Emails, because then I can see what people have sent me over. Places being such as Patreon, as Tentomon has sent some messages. Seeing as I can shoot the shit with Andy on his streams, I've been streaming. That's the other stuff I've been doing.
No.
On his streams, on nights, I don't need sleep. On sleeps, he doesn't need sleep. Okay, on nights, he doesn't need sleep. I might as well pose deeper questions here, like, what is the Samurai Jack gold standard, in quotations, of toy lines? For me, it would be like 80s He-Man and 90s Hero Turtles, or Ninja Turtles, depending on where you are in the world. I added that. With all the weird characters and fun gimmicks, tons of cool vehicles and playsets. So what's yours, Mikey? And to me as well. T4 PS PS. No, that is right. PS Inuyasha was made by Rumiko Takahashi of Ranma 1/2 fame, not Clamp, Mikey. You fucking idiot. I added in the you fucking idiot part.
I know that they're very similar art style in many ways.
Well, you were wrong.
I'm just going to say Inuyasha got boring for that last 5 years.
I didn't see anybody debating that, but fair enough. So, what's your Samurai Jack gold standard toy line? I assume then of all time, which is kind of hard, granted.
Like, I would say at its height of popularity, Figure Arts was a big one for me.
Do you think that's gone away at this point?
I think so, because I don't talk about Figure Arts anymore, and the quality of the toys is still up there. But I think
haven't there been some issues recently with Figure Arts, like breaking?
I don't know about breakage. I know representation of characters is a big thing at the moment. Like they've gone from trying to do everyone to doing like maybe a couple of base forms for the main rider. And usually I remember when Exe came out, people got really weirded out by how much attention the Dragon Hunter forms got when no one liked those.
Yeah, no one liked those. I mean, they were the worst forms of the show, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Dragonite the Hunter. Zed!
Zed, that's right.
But Figure Arts at its peak was a big one for me, because I thought it was like the engineering was so ahead of its time and everything else. At the moment, I honestly think like Gunpla is something I think is kind of insane how well engineered it is. Even like the ones I really didn't like, you could from the older kits I've tried. It's kind of incredible to me how well designed they are. It's just like the materials weren't there, the engineering wasn't behind them, but for the time they were well ahead. If I had, I'm trying to think, would I have one toy line? Do you know what? This is genuinely something I think was a huge deal. The original Power Rangers toy line.
Yeah.
I basically was like a completionist.
Some of it.
I was a completionist from Mighty Morphin to the end of season 3.
The action figures are just the Zords.
Yeah, the Zord, but a bit of figures, but mostly Zords. But I think as an introduction to the idea of our introduction to the combining robot playset at the time and the kind of engineering you were getting there, because they were much more direct translations of the Bandai Japan toys.
Yeah, that was a real shitty thing when it was after Wild Force, wasn't it? When they just went, we'll make our own, or we'll do changes, and they made them worse.
I think did Ninja Storm still get originals? I don't know.
They might have.
It's around that time anyway. It was tied to the Disney Switch. And I used to be fascinated by things like the Falcon Zord had all these compartments that didn't have anything in them, because the whatever the bird's name is in Japanese show, Ninja Ranger or Kaku Ranger. I know the bird had a name. I don't remember what it was.
Birdmon.
Had electric features, had lights and sound.
Did the American? No, the American one had the gun sound effects.
No, it didn't have anything. It had the compartment for it, but it was empty of all electronics.
I was sure, because I didn't have that one, but I was sure my friend who had it, I'm sure like it did the sound effects. No?
Mm-mm. And
let us know if we're wrong. Again.
No, I remember I took it apart once to try and find out.
Okay.
There was no wires.
I look forward to getting a message from someone saying you're wrong, Mikey.
They can remember it however they like. I've still got the thing up in my attic.
Was that one of the things that wasn't like thrown away?
Yeah.
By your parents.
Tiger Zord had electronics. I remember that distinctly because it had the ones from the Japanese show, which I always thought sounded really weird because the sound effects were completely different. But Dragon Zord had the chest plate, if I remember that.
It did,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting toy line for the time. I think the problem was Power Rangers never evolved beyond that.
I mean, that's an issue we've always had with Power
and then
Rangers,
it moved into what I think is a worse era, which is the clusterfuck era, which is basically just make everything modular and interchangeable and unattractive.
Yeah, I mean, we love it, but Go Onja is a really good example of that.
Yeah,
Go Onja kind of is so ridiculous that it kind of works, but a lot of the stuff kind of does fall into that. It's just messy.
Yeah, Go Onja owns it. For want of a better term.
I think the fact that Go Onja is such a weird, strange series to begin with probably helps. It's not a serious show, kids. No matter what America did.
No. So that would be my one. What about yours?
I mean, the easy basic bitch answer is Lego, right?
Lego!
It is probably the standard of, like, the ultimate toy. Lots of building, lots of different properties at this point. Solid, durable, lasts forever, can last on the bottom of the ocean floor and be washed up on beaches, apparently, after thousands of years, seemingly. Because it was that container that went down. What, that it can survive on the seabed floor and then come up to the surface without any issues? Yeah, I'd say so. That's a pretty sturdy toy.
There's just some poor whale full of like Lego bricks right now.
Well, the whale shouldn't be eating people's Lego then, should they? Stupid whales.
Stupid whales.
To be fair, I wouldn't complain if it was eaten by killer whales because they're horrible creatures.
Why do you hate killer whales?
I've seen what they do to seals, even though it's very funny.
Maybe the seals have it coming. You never thought of that, did you?
Well, I've seen them like hoofed seal. I've seen them hoof dolphins into the air as well, which obviously deserve it.
Maybe they're like we're trying to play, but we're petting too hard.
No, they're not. They're the ultimate predator, and they want to enjoy their food. They're the ultimate predator of the sea, and we're the ultimate predator. Well, not predator, but the ultimate creature on land. And this is
what if they get legs?
Well, whales. Oh, that's not a good idea. Did you see that Simpsons episode with the dolphin? What a time. Yeah, Lego's a good one. I do think like for the time, the Turtles one was an incredibly strong contender. It dominated the 90s for a good long time. I was never a big fan of it because they weren't fucking robots. I got a few Turtles, but I was never like... Whee!
I had the transforming Turtles.
I had the Donatello. I had the Tokar and Razor as well. And I had the Shredder as well that turned into the drill tank, which I never liked because I was like, this is stupid. This cape's shit because it was half of a drill. But those were some solid toy lines as well, to be fair. I'm trying to think if there was any other... I didn't mind the Spider-Man toy line from the 90s cartoon. That was quite fun.
I always wanted the Spider Slayers.
I had them. They were pretty neat. Yeah. They didn't do much. They were very big chunks of plastic which didn't move too much. But they were big robots. So I was like, I want these. These are robots. Give me the robots. I was always a big fan of robots as a kid. Still am. Who knew? I think those are some good choices. I'd say they were like Lego is obviously the top tier and still probably will be a top contender for best toy, just because it's so changeable. It's like a Gundam model kit, but you can do way more with it. Obviously, you can unbuild it. You can't really unbuild a model kit without difficulty, and you can rebuild it in all kinds of different ways, which you can't do with a model kit. Usually, there's one way to do it, unless you're incredibly talented and willing to put in a lot of extra work. He also, Tendomon 4 also sent us a clip of the Swedish Fist of the North Star that he was talking about on the stream with me, because I can't remember why. I say a lot of weird shit during my streams. This might be strange. I mean, you've probably never listened to this show, so, you know. But I think at some point Swedish Fist of the North Star came up and he mentioned that it was incredibly edited to remove the violence. I was like, wow,
how is that even possible?
I don't know. I don't think it was. I think it was just like hard cuts. And that's not a good thing. Because I did ask, did they fox 4 kids it, you know?
Mm.
Did they try and like, they're
that reminds
coughing
me,
up
Cowboy
chocolate
Bebop's
syrup? Yeah, I hear it's bad, which I'm not sure.
I will probably watch an episode, but I hear people feel very insulted by what they did to Ed.
I'm like, why? Do you think this was going to be... Who thought this was going to be good?
I'm sure someone did.
I asked on my stream, is there any good live adaptation of an anime? And someone said Guy with Dark Hero, and I went, okay, that's one.
Good is a stretch.
Yeah, I'd say happily say Guy with Dark Hero is fun. I wouldn't say it's a good thing.
How do I put this? It is the Independence Day of anime adaptations. Which means don't like it, but other people like it.
Do you not like Dark Hero?
I mean, it's watchable. I like it in the same kind of way you'd like Van Helsing.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can accept that.
I think when people say good, they're actually like something that is objectively well put together.
Oh, you mean not like how I mean good, as in, it's good. It's entertaining.
No, but like, because like, every positive review I've seen for Cowboy Bebop, the series, or the new one, has been like, well, we never watched the anime. And
I've seen a lot of those.
And everyone that's like, we've seen the anime, just like, not only is this not good, this is also insulting to the anime. It's like, it's bad independent of the anime.
Oh no. I'm not shocked, but oh no. I mean,
the anime,
I was never interested in watching it, but, what can you do?
I'll probably try an episode just to be that guy, but...
Be it on your own head.
Maybe I'll be surprised.
I doubt it. I hope you are. I really hope you are, but I don't think you will be. Mm-hmm. We got a message from Paul Anderson, the Sugar Bear. Latest Brawn-friendly episode. You're quite right. You quite rightly expressed confusion over Soundwave's alt modes in the Flying Crotch of Doom. It has been highlighted to me on the web. Its alt mode used in that wonderful words cannot express in air quotes. I want to put around that Transformers vs. G.I. Joe series. Oh, is it?
I'll take your word for it.
You know, the one with that art style again. Art in air quotes. Oh, okay. I'll have to take your word for it, Mr. Sugar Bear. But it is quite
the worst
a thing.
Bear.
And also one of the worst Transformers comics. At least visually. I'm happy to say that. It's one of the worst visual Transformer comics. Do we have... you said you didn't have any messages. I think we've got some from Christoph Carlson. He sent me some information about where I could get a Mazinger Z Infinity version from a Swedish website, I think. I haven't gone to it, but it's there. And he also put up some images of his Guardians of the Galaxy miniatures that he's been painting. And Cyberverse keeps kicking the crap out of Wolf Cybertron trilogy. Not a high bar, but I would agree. Get notes on the end. Also, here's some fun MCP ad starring Juggernaut. Oh, so you sent us a little thing. MCP. Oh, Marvel Crisis Patrol. Oh, it's the board game. It's the board game. And you didn't have anything, did you, Mikey?
Nope.
Are you excited for Disney redoing the 90s X-Men cartoon, or are you concerned?
I find it weird they're bringing back the old cast, at least some of them.
That's the thing, it's like, yeah, some of them, it's like, no, just...
I don't think it's a good... it's a weird thing to me because it's clearly a nostalgia move, but you also clearly have to make it for the primary audience, which again is at best a third adult.
Yeah, I don't know what the idea behind this
is.
So
how do you sell 90s X-Men to the modern audience without making it incredibly 90s?
I don't know. You know what I would do if you want to remake the show? The only way that I think you can make the show, the best way to make the show, is go in and fix the animation where it needs fixing. That's it. That's all you have to do. Especially with the last season going there. Actually, some of the stories in the last season were a bit wank as well.
Yeah.
But that's all you need to do. I do think the stories... Oh, no. Oh, I just realized something, Mikey.
Oh, no, what?
We're going to get the Phoenix Saga again. And the Dark Phoenix Saga again. I hate the Phoenix Saga. It's so fucking long. And I've seen it so many times. It's in every X-Men thing ever. Since the 90s. I understand it's an important series, but the problem is I've seen it way too many times, and I can't stand fucking Jean Grey. I hate her. I hate her.
Jean Grey is that she's just such an empty vessel, in my opinion.
She's so boring.
Like, there's nothing to her.
No. Her biggest thing is wanting to fuck Wolverine and Cyclops. That's her biggest thing.
I don't know. Like, the Phoenix Saga is a good story. It is a very good story.
I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, it's just like, for me, I think Jean unfortunately suffers from that. Her personality depends on who's writing her.
I could believe that, yeah.
Which, whenever I've read her in comics, it's just like, wow, there is no continuity between who this person is. And that always drives me nuts.
Aye, strange. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want to find you and whatnot?
You can find me on Twitter with Irish Paleo, and you can send me a message over on the moonbase2@gmail.com, and you can contact us on the Moonbase2 and on Facebook and listen on Twitter and everywhere else. We love hearing from people.
Oh my god, it's true.
Not Andy.
No, not me. You can find me on Twitter as Decade Andy, on YouTube as Decade Andy, where I stream from 11 o'clock in the evening UK time to about 1:30 in the morning UK time. And at the moment we're doing Bayonetta, which we're nearly finished with, I think, at this point, and we're doing more Super Robot Wars. I think after Bayonetta we might go over and do Dark Souls 3, the Convergence mod, because apparently that adds and changes a lot of stuff, so maybe we'll try that. We'll see. And it'll be a good build-up for Elden Ring as well, because I'm really looking forward to Elden Ring, which is February next year. You can also find us on the Moonbase 2 podcast on Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You can go to the patreon.com/Moonbase2 and do $2 each month, and you get the extended version from the Files of Teletron 2. And you also get the Moonbase Woo-Woo, where we talk about non-transformery things in more detail, believe it or not. And you could head over to ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go that way as well. I think I've mentioned everything. I think that's it. Yeah. So, thank you everybody for coming on by. And until next time, everybody, we'll catch you next time.
Flee.